Hello and welcome to the Hypertrophy Odyssey chapter 320. It is the fourth day of the week, aka the Buster Cannon workout. I am feeling pretty good right now on the way to the gym and very happy about this workout. But anyways, to the main subject matter for today, the TikTokification of music. So the main reason why I wanted to talk about this was because in recent memory, I believe that there were a couple of videos I watched where there was one song that was started playing and then they found out it was just a sample for a new song, and then all of a sudden the person turned the radio off immediately. That entire idea. So that was one of the reasons, but two, also because of the fact that a lot of music nowadays hasn't really been good. It is probably the middle of the summer, probably late summer by the time that this video comes out, but it is almost at the end of it and there's no song of the summer. As somebody pointed that out and I was like, huh, you're right. And there hasn't been one for like the past 5 years. Not really. I mean, kind of understandable in 2020 for obvious reasons, which we'll talk about some other day. But things like that where, people weren't just doing stuff. And nowadays, it seems as though the TikTokification of music has kind of ruined music in a sense that it's either nostalgia bait to get people like my age or demographic to be like, oh, I remember this, to mix it with something brand new, which ruins it. So it's like, all right, I don't care to listen to this. Or on the other side, it is a 5 to 30 second clip of a song that when released is actually 35 seconds long. It's not even a full-length song, but more so just a hook, a chorus, or whatever, just because there's not really the point of having the whole song and or whoever made it for a video on TikTok. So I want to look more into this phenomena and all the things that kind of go into it and just look at it from both of those sides, because I feel like both of these things are ruining all of music in a sense that a lot of it is just bland or nostalgia bait. But with that being said, I will see you on the inside. Alright, so started this day off with leg extensions, which are pretty good. But anyway, back to the main subject matter for today. The TikTokification of music. So the main reason why I want to discuss this is because this is something that I hear a lot while at the gym in between songs basically that are playing in my headphones, or when I have my headphones out. I hear songs that are playing over the gym speakers, and most of the time the beginnings of the songs are usually songs that I'm like, oh hey, I recognize this is very familiar, I've understood this, and then all of a sudden it changes halfway through and I'm like, oh, this is completely different, and then it turns to shit usually. Most of the time, many songs nowadays sample old songs from like when I was growing up, 80s and 90s, well not 80s, but 90s and late 2000s, and now use those hooks and the beats and everything else that are associated with those hits and redo them for a younger generation. The only issue is that it feels like there's a stagnation with music because of this stuff now. It's like it is appealing to a certain crowd that is weirdly between both Gen Alpha and Gen Z and Millennials. It's very strange. And it's not like before where covers were popular. Obviously, covers have always been a thing, and it's how certain music has translated forward into time. But majority of the time, it seems as though when covers happened back in the day, people would put their own twist on it, which would make it more of an interesting thing. So for example, I'll give you one that I heard today. I was at the grocery store and they were playing Faith by George Michael, which made me think of Faith by Limp Bizkit, which changes the song in its entirety. Not necessarily every single part of it, the lyrics are generally the same, but it gives it a different style, but it's the same thing, It's a proven commodity, but given its own twist. It's enough of a good twist that makes it interesting. A lot of these current songs and things like that do not do any twist on the actual cover itself, but more so take it and use it to further whatever they're trying to do in their song using that. It's a weird prop up of a skeleton in the background or in the closet or something where they can point and look at it and say, hey, look at that, you remember that? You remember that thing? Yeah, we got it now. And then they try to dance it up with their own thing, but realistically it sucks. And that's the other thing too, is that a lot of the time this music is so fucking short. I love funk music. It's very nice to work out in. The only thing that sucks about it is that it's like a minute and a half long. There are times where I'm like, I just want like a 3-minute funk song that isn't exactly the same over and over again. Or even worse, when they don't even have anything besides a chorus and like a bridge. What is a verse? What the hell is a verse? What do you mean I have to do a chorus again? What do you mean there's a bridge? What do you mean there's an intro and outro? What are you talking about? What are these pieces of a musical theory about pieces of a song? What is that? And it sucks because a lot of the time it feels like, because of how shortened and how like edited down everything is, it makes it so there's no real soul behind it. It's more of an excuse to just generate as much dollars as you can via as many views as you can milk out of preteens dancing to this damn song. And then people that are older will kind of hear the hook from an old song and be like, oh, hey, I remember that. But it's all just soulless at the end. And we're back. Welcome to the workout debriefing. Exercises not filmed, none. Exercises skipped, also none. Managed to get everything in, thankfully. But anyways, to the main subject matter for today. The TikTokification of music. So the main reason why I wanted to talk about this is because I've noticed this trend a lot, probably in the past 5 to 7 years at this point. It has been happening even before 2020, where the sampling of old songs would just be, the nostalgia baiting of old songs would just be happening nonstop and consistently. And it sucks because nowadays you have to give credits to every single person that you might have sampled at least half a second from, which causes people to not really want to make music anymore. Or at least if they get originals, they have to tack on somebody else's thing, because all of a sudden it kind of sounds like somebody else's music, which kind of sucks in the sense that it's stifling creativity, because you got to make sure the royalties are paid at the right people at the right time. Gee, I wonder who made that incentive and things like that. But anyways, the issue with that is that now, because of that, I feel like it stagnates a lot of music, and or the fact that we have possibly reached the apex of musical theory. Now, I'm now a music critic and or music theory expertise, or expert, I should say. I'm not either of those things. But if anybody is who watches this, please let me know in the comment section down below, because it looks like we're starting to run out of combinations. The magical 4 ain't so magical anymore. So please let me know what you think. If you are one of those people, or if you're not, let me know in the comment section down below. But that's the thing. The main thing is that music just simply doesn't hit as it once did before. Now, there is part of me that's a little older and all that other stuff, which does happen. Of course, that's possibly and probably at least a decent factor of it. But even social media music has become to the point where I'm like, ooh, this sounds like a good 5-second loop from a song. And then half the comments are, damn, when the good part of the song is just this part, or when the song itself is 45 seconds and this short is 30 seconds. You know, it's like, oh, okay, so basically this is the song. Thank you. I'm not going to waste my time on it. So it kind of establishes a precedent that is just not really seen. I mean, hell, I haven't been to the club in about 5 years, but I can't imagine what that sounds like nowadays, because I would imagine it's still the music that I listened to more than 6 years ago, with like one extra song sprinkled in there that maybe they play for 30 seconds until they move on to the next 30-second song, and then they nostalgia bait with newer songs and then just play the originals right after. Or either way, they just gotta do that for a little while, because realistically there's not much new going on. So it's kind of frustrating and annoying to have to deal with it. I mean, personally, it's not even necessarily my style of music anyway to listen to half of this shit, but also even something that I like to listen to, like funk, has kind of gotten to a point where it's become shit, in the sense that now it's all of the songs are like either 10 to 15 second loops that are like awesome for 10 to 15 seconds, and or they are they're just literally like a 1 minute and 20-second song that is what you hear, and then a small intro and a small outro. There's no real, it doesn't really get anywhere. It doesn't really go anywhere. There's no real depth to it. And of course, there are genres that are like that, and obviously there are musical artists that aren't doing this, but it's a lot harder to find them, because unfortunately, it doesn't necessarily pay the bills. So that's the unfortunate part. But with that being said, Tell me what you think in the comment section down below. I'd love to know your thoughts and opinions about this one. This was more of a random one, but one about something that, you know, tickles the brain. I think everybody has at least noticed this at the minimum, to say the least. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Please share this video with anybody who may or may not like it. I will be back on tomorrow with a new video. Thank you very much for watching. I really do appreciate it. I will see you in the next one. Keep it heavy. Stay safe out there. Stay cool, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace!